What is up? This is John Nelson, and you are listening to the Starting Block Podcast. If you are looking for a show for complete athletic development and one that cuts through all the confusion and the gimmicks that you're going to see on social media and through all the people who claim to be the experts, well, then we're the show for you. So welcome to episode 2. And before we get going today, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out and supported us over the first episode last week. That was absolutely incredible, the amount of shares and the amount of comments we had, and that far exceeded my expectations and Mandy's and Chris's, and to exceed my expectations, man, that's big. So, we really appreciate that. So today is going to be a little bit of a unique situation. So we talked about the structure of our podcast and what type of shows that we're going to have. And so there's really going to be 3 main types of shows coming up for y'all. So the first type, which is going to be the most common that you'll hear, is going to be just a regular Q&A. So Chris and I will address 2 or 3 questions from clients or athletes that are submitted to us or submitted to Mandy. Usually they'll cover, topics of strength and speed. We'll also dig into recovery and nutrition and things of that nature as well. The other type of episode is going to be more of a full-length episode where Chris and I will bring on guests and friends of ours. So that may be high-level collegiate athletes or pro athletes. That may be others that are in our field, big-name strength coaches or doctors or physical therapists that we bring on. And, we talk about good stuff and teach you guys how to win through that route. And the other type of episode is going to be what you're going to get today. And that's going to be a real talk of me taking about 8 to 15 minutes and just shouting at you. And that's kind of what some people might say. And our athletes know that sometimes I'll go down, a couple different rabbit holes and I'll go on a rant. And that's what today is. So it's just going to be a quick, just, shot in the face, and then boom, we're moving and getting out of here. And the reason we're doing this today, for a couple of reasons. One, we recorded the episode that is going to come out that you should be listening to right now, and it was a hell of an episode, but we had some serious audio problems that were not able to get addressed in time. And so rather than panicking and trying to fix that in time and not give you guys a quality episode, we thought that this might be a good opportunity to introduce this format to you. That episode is going to come out next week, and we're going to redo that for y'all. And that is going to be really digging into the concept of speed. So really 3 main reasons why you're not getting faster and what to do about it. Chris dropped some serious knowledge bombs on that, and I think you guys are really going to like that. And that'll be coming out next week. But today's episode is giving you a little bit more about what I mean by winning, and kind of explaining our theory and thought process behind that, particularly behind this podcast. And, one of the things that people asked us about after the first episode was, what do you mean by winning? Is that like the Charlie Sheen winning? Some of you older people may get that joke. Some of you younger people probably don't. Mandy's over there laughing at me. But winning it's more than just, the number on the scoreboard. And it's something I really wanted to address. And, I had the opportunity this weekend to go to the Giants Titans game with my dad. And, for anybody that knows me, you guys know I'm a huge Giants fan. And there was a moment where if anybody watched the game, my Giants won. So that's obviously, the most important thing of that. I know, heck, it was a great game. But if you watched the game, you saw Daniel Jones throw, honestly, the most god-awful interception in the red zone, trying to go after Saquon Barkley. And just he eyeballed him the entire way in. And it was horrible, and honestly could have lost the game. But anyway, the Giants ended up getting the ball back, and we ended up winning. We, there's a missed field goal by the Titans. So, yeah, it was a good day to be a Giants fan. But the point of that was, I didn't see it during the game, but I heard about it afterwards, and I heard about it on the radio on the way home. And the story was that the Giants have really struggled over the last 10 years. And we got a new coaching staff, new GM, and there's just kind of a cultural change there. And you could tell, like, being a Giants fan, I haven't missed a game, and I couldn't tell you how long. And you could see it on the field a little bit. But what ended up happening was Daniel Jones threw that interception, and it was kind of your standard as a Giants fan, like, oh, man, here he goes again. And what we ended up finding out was that when he went to the sideline, Brian Daboll, the new head coach of the Giants, absolutely just lit into him, and just that, from what the radio commentator said, absolutely tore him apart. It was no, tap on the head, tap on the butt. Oh, well, we'll get him next time. It was no, you made a MFing mistake and this was horrible and you can't do this again if you want to be elite and you want to win. And that kind of resonated with me. And that was another reason why I wanted to go into this, little, blasting you guys say about what winning is. It's something that we see, on a daily basis dealing with, athletes. But, we also see it, in adults, whether it's our general fitness population or, people that are referred to us because they're dealing with pain. And it's this sense of not winning and not feeling like we're allowed to share our wins and be proud, of what we've accomplished. And this is something that, I think society has really driven into us, that, it's everybody is a winner and, it's okay to get 17th place. And that has kind of changed the framework and the natural competitiveness of the human being. And that's not right. And, we aren't designed to be passive. We are designed to win. We are designed to be winners and to go after our goals. We are not meant to sit in the metaverse. We're not meant to sit in front of a TV and just zone out and play video games and be disconnected from each other. Boys are no longer allowed to be boys. Women are no longer allowed to be men, or women are no longer allowed to be women. And it has confused everything and everybody. And just even in the last 10 years, from when we started ELP, 10, 11 years ago to now, the difference in attitudes of certain kids. And kids will come in, and especially some of the young men, they're passive, and they're taught that. And it's not, and teachers, if you're listening to this, it's not your fault. We're not blaming the teachers, per se. Some of them, yeah, but you're being told what to do from the top down, and you can't offend anybody. You're not allowed to have recess anymore. And, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole and tell you guys, we need to bring back eye for an eye, man. If my kid, starts a fight, I got a problem with that. But if they end the fight, then, good. If a kid starts a fight with them, good. But you don't start it, but you end it. And those characteristics seem to be, have been lost in our society today. And the Daniel Jones and Brian Daboll thing kind of hit home for me, and seeing him or hearing about him just getting absolutely torn down and built back up. And ultimately, I think that's probably why the Giants ended up coming back and winning that game, was because of that. And so when we talk about, how do we win and how do we get better? It's about having a mentality of wanting to be the best, and, the wanting to come in and take pride in what you're doing. And I think kids these days are taught from a young age that they're not allowed to fail. And so rather than actually take a leap of faith and try to win, it's the paralysis by analysis effect. They don't do anything. And so rather than trying to win, they don't do anything. And so ultimately they end up failing because of that, and it creates this just very unique divide amongst, your team and, coworkers when, you're afraid to fail and not get out there and do something. And, that is something that we want to change. We want these kids to win, and there have been times where I have ripped into a kid, and sometimes parents get mad at it and sometimes they appreciate it. And, it's funny because a lot of times the kids that I've ripped into, they either made a dramatic change or they really didn't make it at all, and I think it maybe even made them realize that maybe they were playing ball because of mom and dad and they weren't doing it because of something they wanted to do and they didn't have their goals. And so it's about instilling these values of hard work and knowing that it's okay to fail. And the gym is a safe space to fail. And that's something we try to communicate to everybody. If you can't fail in the gym and learn what your physical and mental capacity is, where else are you going to do that? The gym is a place that you're not going to get punished. You're not going to, lose, your paycheck because you fail. you're going to be able to learn from that failure and learn what it is that you can do. And that's ultimately how you get better. And that's what winning is really about. And that's kind of the purpose of our show. I've taken a lot of heat over the years because people think that some of the things that ELP does is weird. And that's actually not the case. The fact of the matter is that the education that we present to the community is far and away the highest there is almost in the entire country. We're very proud to say that there are very few facilities in the country that can offer what ELP can offer. And it's because we have been dedicated to winning, and people that don't want to see you win will break you down regularly. And it's a matter of passing that knowledge down to everybody else, these younger kids and this next generation coming up, because, we're not going to be here forever. And it's passing that knowledge down. And how did we get that? Well, it's because I worked my ass off. Mandy's worked her ass off. So has Chris. We've all worked our ass off to do that. And I've shared the story when I never went to a single college party, not one. That never went to a college party while everybody else is out having fun and doing stuff. I was working, I was studying, and so, when I bring about these concepts, these athletes, whether it's grounding or nutrition or whatever else it may be, or some training technique, some people around here think it's kind of odd, but believe it or not, when you actually get to the other parts of the country, it's everywhere. So, one of them is actually, RPR, reflexive performance reset. It's a muscle activation technique. And I share this story because it's really interesting. So if you listen to episode 1, you knew that Chris and I met each other in Birmingham when Mandy and I drove down there. And Chris taught me a technique called, at the time it was called Be Activated, by a guy by the name of Douglas Heel. He was a doctor out of South Africa. And so I learned how to do this muscle activation, with Chris. And, I'd already been doing some stuff. I was already trained under some doctors up north to do some muscle activation, but this was a little bit different approach. Chapman's reflexes, neurolymphatic, whatever you want to call it. And so we kind of brought it back, and it was a really good thing to do. Like, it was something, a system I could actually teach athletes to do. And then a couple of years later, fast forward 4 or 5 years, a strength coach by the name of Cal Dietz, and a couple other people across the country kind of bought the system from Douglas Heel and renamed it RPR, and reflexive performance reset. And it really took off across the country. And there's a lot of people that do it. I think there's 1 or 2 others in Memphis now that do it, but we didn't go through the program because we'd already been doing the original one. But the amount of heat that we have taken over the years for muscle activation stuff, it's ironic because everywhere else across the country, this is now being done, yet people around here still find it odd and think it's voodoo. And I will spare who this athlete is, but he is a very big name athlete from this area. He is currently in the SEC. And, I remember his first day when he stepped into his college weight room, he literally texted me a picture of the activation sheet that was on the SEC weight room door or wall. And it is the exact same sheet that we have hanging up here in our gym. And that, to me, not that I ever doubted what we did by any means. I'm very confident in what we do, and our results speak for themselves, and Chris's results speak for themselves as well. But it was more just validation of, hey, you know what? What we've been saying is true. What we've been saying for the last 11 years is true. Like, we give kids and clients and, patients. I don't like to use the word patients because I'm not a healthcare provider. When doctors send their patients to us, we give you the tools to win, because we are going to win. We are going to be the best, and it might piss some people off, but it rubs people the wrong way sometimes, and you make them uncomfortable because you challenge them. And hell, I probably lost a few business deals because of it, but I don't regret that. This is real. This is me, and I'm going to win. And I tell these guys all the time, like, you're not always going to, accomplish your goal. But if your goal is high, right, and even if you don't accomplish it, you don't fail. We don't fail. We learn. And I've never failed. I've only learned. And we're only going to get better. And that's what we're going to instill. And sometimes that takes getting your ass chewed out, like Daniel Jones had happen to him this weekend, to get that fire underneath you and get out of that passive kind of mentality that society has put into our heads, that it's okay to not succeed. And that is what the system wants. That is what the society wants. And I'll spare you that rabbit hole, but I'll go down that another day. Some of you guys listening will know that I have no problem taking you down there. And we want to build men of character. We want to build women of character. And even if you're here because your back or your knee hurts, stop thinking that just being passive is going to fix it. Even your doctors will tell you that. You have to make a change. You have to actually put forth the effort to do something. And we talk about that being your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to make a change? And it's not what. And Simon Sinek, if you know who he is, talks about that years ago. And I think that's, it's one of the things that Apple did years ago, is that they sold you the why and not the what. Yeah, that why was, you change your life and you're interconnected, and the what is the computer or the iPod at the time or the iPhone. And it's the same thing here. It's what is your why? And my why was, I was told my senior year of high school to drop out of school because I was too stupid to graduate. I was told that I didn't deserve to play on the basketball team my senior year, even though I was a varsity starter. And, I was told that I was just to quit and that it'd be okay, that I'm just, God didn't make me that way. And, I said, F that. And that was my why. I was told I couldn't start a business, and I did, and I accomplished that. And, I have new whys now. There are things that I am trying to accomplish and I will accomplish. And that is the mentality that we want to instill, into our community, and what we kind of hope to accomplish with this podcast. So this ran a little longer than I thought it would be. 17, 18 minutes here, but my timer's going off. But that's what the flag is for back here. If you ain't first, you're last. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you ain't first, you're last. There are no participation awards. There are no, 17th place trophies. If you lost, then you freaking lost. Learn from it and get better. And don't come crying to me, that it wasn't fair. Nope. The refs are never a part of the game. You shouldn't allow the refs to be a part of the game. Your play should speak for itself. Your actions should speak for itself. And, if you're not winning, then it's on you. And you need to dig deeper inside and figure out why you're not winning. And that's what our podcast is today. Here's your, we're going to call this episode the rabbit hole, I think, moving forward. I'm going to take you down these rabbit holes once a week or so. But be on the lookout for next week's episode. It's going to be pretty kick-ass. Chris has got some really great information out there for you. Chris and I'll go back and forth a little bit on his theories and my theories, and we'll have some drills that you guys can see and follow up on. And man, we appreciate you guys listening again. Thanks for being a part of this show. Remember, email all your questions into us at info@elitelevelperformance.com. We also have a box up here at the front desk. You can drop them in if you want to know something, and we'll answer them. And we'll get to everybody. Just no stupid questions are allowed, all right? Or I may call you out on the air here. Remember, guys, share the show, please. We don't. We're doing this out of our own time. We're doing this to make our community a better place. So share this show. Give us a review, please. Help us with those reviews. That helps us get seen. Share the YouTube, links. Share it on Spotify. We're supposed to be on Apple Music, but I don't know where it is. We can't seem to find it. But share our show and help us get out there. Tell a friend. Put it on your social media. Help us grow this thing. And we'll keep doing this, and we'll keep giving you the information that you guys need and want to win. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a great day.